हरे कृष्ण हरि बोल हरे कृष्ण हरि बोल हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय जय यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा श्रील प्रभुपाद की ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम् देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्ठकी। हरे कृष्ण। श्रीमद् भागवतम कैंटो 3 चैप्टर 3 श्लोक नंबर 19। भगवान अपि विश्वात्मा लोक वेद पथानुगः कामान शिशेवे द्वारवत्याम असक्तः सांख्यम आस्थितः। भगवानपि विश्वात्मा लोकवेद पथानुगः कामान् शिशेवे द्वारवत्याम् असक्तः सांख्यमस्थितः। भगवानपि विश्वात्मा लोकवेद पथानुगः कामान् शिशेवे द्वारवत्याम् असक्तः सांख्यमास्थितः। भगवानपि विश्वात्मा लोकवेद पथानुगः कामान् शिशेवे द्वारवत्याम् असक्तः सांख्यमास्थितः। Mataji's. Word to word meaning. Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. Api, also. Vishwatma, the super soul of the universe. Loka, customary. Veda, Vedic principles. Patha Anugagaha, follower of the path. Kama, the necessities of life. Shisheve, enjoyed. Dwarvatyam, in the city of Dwarka. Asaktaha, without being attacked. Sorry, without being attached. Sankhyam, knowledge in Sankhya philosophy. Asthitaha, being situated. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Simultaneously, the personality of Godhead enjoyed life in the city of Dwarka, strictly in conformity with the Vedic customs of society. He was situated in detachment and knowledge as enunciated by the Sankhya system of philosophy. Purport. While Maharaj Yudhishthir was the emperor of the earth, Lord Shri Krishna was the king of Dwarka and was known as Dwarkadhish. Like other subordinate kings, he was under the regime of Maharaj Yudhishthir. Although Lord Krishna is the supreme emperor of the entire creation, while he was on this earth, he never violated the principles of the Vedic injunctions because they are the guide for human life. Regulated human life, according to the Vedic principles, which are based on the system of knowledge called Sankhya philosophy, is the real way of enjoyment of the necessities of life. Without such knowledge, detachment and custom, the so-called human civilization is no more than an animal society of eat, drink, be merry and enjoy. The Lord was acting freely as He willed. Yet by His practical example, He taught us not to lead a life which goes against the principles of detachment and knowledge. Attainment of knowledge and detachment are very elaborately discussed in the Sankhya philosophy, is the real perfection of life. Knowledge means to know that the mission of human form of life is to end all the miseries of material existence, and that in spite of having to fulfill the bodily necessities in a regulated way, one must be detached from such animal life. Fulfilling the demands of the body in animal life and fulfilling the mission of spirit, soul, is human mission. Om Ajnantimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuron Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpa Tarubhescha Krupa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा. Though this chapter is entitled, which I forgot to mention in the beginning, Lord's pastime out of Vrindavan. And in a wonderful way, it is being described what did Lord Krishna did in Dwarka city basically. Outside Vrindavan also Mathura, but here I think it's more of Dwarka. Yeah, it is mentioned, enjoyed life in Dwarka. So it's only one or two shlokas here. But if you go to the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a chapter called as Lord's Daily Activities. So I would prefer to look at that chapter so that these activities, few are mentioned here, a bit more are mentioned in those chapters. So initially we'll look at what are the Lord's daily activities as mentioned here. It is only mentioned here that Lord in this shloka strictly in conformity with the Vedic customs of society. Three things are mentioned here in today's shloka. Vedic customs, knowledge of Sankhya and detachment. And this is to enjoy this world while we are living here, at the same time attain spiritual perfection. So enjoying human necessities is not exactly bad attitude. But with knowledge of the Vedic Sankhya philosophy, customs and detachment, with keeping the goal in mind. So what would Lord Krishna do as the daily activities? Now from 10th canto chapter number 70, in the initial few slokas, they have been listed. So let's go through them very quickly before we come back to this shloka. So Lord would daily get up early morning hours, Brahma Muhurta, which is around 1.5 hours or 2 hours before sunrise. We can adjust as per the sunrise in our location and the season. Then he would bathe with clear water and execute early morning rituals and other religious duties. What are those? They are mentioned further. He would offer oblations into sacred fire. So after getting ready, he would offer some oblations in the sacred fire. Then chant Gayatri Mantra. So by all this time, the sunrise would come. Then worship the rising sun. And then pay tribute or worship the devatas, the sages, the forefathers, and offer respects to learned brahmanas. So he would do that daily. And then he would worship cows and elders. And then he would touch auspicious substances. And then he would decorate himself with nice dress and jewelry. And also gratify his subjects by giving them charity. Daily morning he would do charity by giving the subjects. Then he would look, not just look, look at cows, bulls, brahmanas, devatas and ghee to see if these people are satisfied. Not just sightseeing look. Look that whether those cows, bulls, brahmanas, devatas are satisfied. And then he would give gifts to the friends, ministers, and second last to wife, and last to himself. That was Lord Krishna's daily activities mentioned as per the knowledge of Sankhya. Here is just very shortly is mentioned in this shloka. So let's go. So we see here in this shloka 3 points are there: detachment, knowledge, and conformity of Vedic customs as per Sankhya philosophy or Sankhya knowledge. Yes, Sankhya is about material world. Sankhya is about material world, and we are in material world. So what I see in today's society, society means society of devotees, non-devotees, outside, inside, everywhere. I'm not saying only devotee society or non-devotee society. What I see, some other people, since birth or because of the influence of the outside world, don't have the knowledge of Sankhya philosophy. It is required. Krishna had, he practiced it. But we should not misunderstand that that is the ultimate end of our life. We have a body, so people lack Sankhya philosophy. They don't act as per the knowledge of Sankhya philosophy to be happy to fulfill human necessities in this life. And then they act in a demo, although they are practicing devotees. Maybe myself, maybe yourself. I'm not saying. What we do, instead of worshipping cows in the morning, we may worship our cars by cleaning them. So we have to decide what's we are happening. Or early morning get up and taking the darshan of sun and worshipping him. We may worship our mobiles and take their darshan. So what has happened with us, unfortunately, is our most of the practices, habits, thought processes. Just think, suppose any 16-round devotee initiated start offering oblations to fire morning and evening, sunrise and sunset. Most of the devotees will look at him with some different type of attitude. Kya chal raha hai? Is this bhakti? But if he goes for jogging in the morning and evening, that's fine. That's fine. That's wonderful. So we have to think. It's a serious time to think. We might be chanting 16 rounds and wonderful. That's good. Excellent. Super excellent. But have we developed the knowledge which Krishna had and he used to live in his life? I was just thinking, if someone starts offering obeisances early morning, sunrise and sunset, most of devotees will start looking at what he's doing, Baba. He is deviating, karma kand, and then daily jogging is which kand? It's karma kand. It's karma kand, nothing else. I'm not saying jogging is bad. Please understand. Whatever I am saying is I am comparing with the Sankhya knowledge, daily lives and other knowledge daily life. I'm not saying jogging is useless or I'm not going into that angle, and that's not today's scope of discussion. I'm not saying one should not have a car or not clean it. Not that way. But we should also understand the right knowledge which is given by the Vedic culture. And it is based on some scientific facts of Sankhya knowledge. It's not, we just reject sentimentalism. He is following some traditions which are not in bhakti. And what is our whole lifetime traditions? He is just too austere. And it just means I just don't understand. It's a bit lack of the right knowledge of Vedic culture, because we are already too filled with the wrong knowledge coming from demoniac tendencies. So we, as a devotee, as a practicing devotees, therefore many times we find it hard. We might be chanting 16 rounds for many years, even following 4 good principles, but we find it a bit hard to move further in a bit fast way, in a Krishna conscious way. Because the supportive activities are not there. We are doing the most important rules of chanting 16 rounds, following 4 good principles, but then supportive activities are distracting us. Is finding so difficult to chant attentively, to get engrossed in the mood of Krishna. So it's just so this may happen class, at least the first half part, to be having some what do you call it? Agenda. But it's not agenda. The sloka has come, so I was just discussing around it. Anyways, we don't mind like about this worshipping cows and worshipping sun and offering fire, offering oblations to fire. Our almost, or means I included, almost all customs, thought processes, eating, drinking, socializing habits are having a wrong origin, which are not supportive for Krishna consciousness. For example, celebrating birthdays is not bad. It's wonderful. Krishna did it. We should do it. But Krishna did it at early morning 6 a.m., not at midnight 12 p.m. Not 12 p.m. What at 12? Huh? I remember when I was a boy, the birthdays were celebrated in the evening, 6 p.m. Before that, maybe 6 a.m. Then 8 p.m. And now I see the whole culture is at 12 in the midnight. So we are going further away. Celebrating birthdays is not bad. It should be done. Wonderful. But celebrate with the right knowledge and right attitude. What did Krishna did in the birthday? It's mentioned in Krishna Lila, in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. He got up early in the morning, dressed nicely, and for few hours he was giving out charity. That was the samskar. Your birthday, give charity. Not accept. I remember, it's a real incident. One boy, no, he's grown up young boy, but that time he was a small boy, 10 years back. For his birthday gifts, he got so many gifts, a pile of gifts. And then his father was telling me, बोले रात को सो नहीं पाया, सोया 2-4 घंटा फिर उठ के वापस गिफ्ट्स को देखने लग गया. Because the attitude that samskar that has been made is to increase knowledge, detachment and customs. The customs is celebrating birthday, but are they creating detachment and knowledge, or are they creating attachment? So that has to be thought over. Birthday means not accepting gifts. Birthday means giving gifts. The child or the daughter or the son has to be given this samskar. Yes, let's do something different. What more? Worship cows, worship brahmanas. That's what Krishna did. I am not telling speculation. We want to become devotee of Krishna. It's wonderful, but we don't want to give up our tendencies or inclinations coming from the wrong sources. It's a bit odd situation. We have to think over what we are doing, what we want to do. And we see Krishna, he did all of this, gratified his ministers, his citizens. Second last was, he gave gifts to his wives. And last was, he took something himself. So, today, we cut the cake and the first thing is, we put in the birthday boy. No, the samskar is to give to someone else. You take it last. Every custom it will be like that. Not only here, birthday. Why forget birthday? Any puja, the brahmanas are fed first, cows are fed next, other citizens are fed first, then all other citizens, then animals, then insects, and then the host. Why only birthday? Any puja in the Vedic culture, it is like that. It begins with brahmanas, ends with insects. And then is the host's wife, family, and then the host. That's custom, knowledge, and enjoying in this world. Enjoying necessities of this world. So that's what Krishna did. And the devotees, also we should try to at least think into this angle. So let's move ahead. Otherwise, it will be not impossible, but bit difficult for the overall development of right consciousness for our spiritual progress. It's not impossible, but bit difficult. And not only that, more dangerously, I see followers of Vedic culture, including devotees and outside our ISKCON devotee fold, they don't follow the customs of Sankhya based on knowledge and detachment. They ridicule it. It's more dangerous. They ridicule. Not one is to understand, but they ridicule. Oh, what is this? He is doing. He is too traditional, too austere, or basically uh, attached to the sense gratification in the wrong way. Hmm. So people, they avoid respecting elders in the home, but they will respect their general manager or something. I'm not saying general manager has to be respected, but they respect the elders in the home also, Baba. In the morning and in the evening. In our home, when I was child, that was being practiced. Every early morning, we would told to worship the devatas and then offer namaskar to all the elders than our age. Hmm. So that we won't do. Oh, traditional, difficult. We don't have time. Then we have time for all the people in the politics and all these things. We worship them. We welcome them. We offer them garlands. In our personal life, we know they are not good people, but still do it. So better correct. We may do it out of our, if it is required in our job business, if it is a necessity over there, we may do it as a part. But what about our life? Daily respecting elders. I don't think so, but we should be doing it. So, this what is being taught here is to develop a supportive dress, supportive food, supportive culture, supportive language, which is not pure bhakti in itself, but which is very supportive for developing the right consciousness for pure bhakti. So, I already spoken that today's class will be in 3 parts. So first part I am almost finishing. Just a few more examples. But the point is very clear. All these are part of Sankhya knowledge, Vastu, astrology. I'm not saying we should be fully dependent and that's the only thing. People may say, oh, it's material knowledge. Then building your business building is also material. Is that spiritual? Oh, I have to see astrology for marriage. It's material, mundane knowledge. What is marriage then? There can be rarely two pure devotees and their marriage may not be material, but that's a very rare occasion. So, oh, it's a medicine. I'm not saying there is no, you will, when you look for a partner, you will look how the girl looks, but you won't look into her stars. Look both. Look both. That also gives some indications. I'm not pro or anti against, but they are sciences. And not doesn't mean that if the stars are matching, the marriage is going to be super wonderful. And not that way. They give indications. It's just like someone says, it just indicates that, what do you call, road under construction, be careful. Doesn't mean if you don't read that board, you cannot drive on the road. You will fail. No, but they are indications. They are part of knowledge, science, which helps us. It gives us idea, be careful. This might happen. So, we may reject, ये सब क्या किसने देखा है, astrology and all this. But we'll look how the girl looks, how much the boy earns, what she likes mirchi or sweets, or we'll look everything except the charts. That is something, another extreme attitude. We look everything, look this also. I'm not saying everyone should blindly follow, but everything. So same thing about all other Sankhya philosophies or knowledge of Vedic culture. I think I don't want to just expand or give few more examples. Let's go to the other points. The same thing. Actually, this all originates when we have this tendency of lacking humility. When we lack humility, we just quickly, we are very quick to make judgments, make conclusions. We are very quick to have our strong judgments and strong conclusions. Because we think we know everything, we are right. But when you have humility, what we think, I know something, and I know it is right as per me, but I should be open to learn more. There can be some better right. Or maybe this may be wrong. which I am thinking as right. So when someone has humility, therefore in Bhagavad Gita 13th chapter, the first word for knowledge is amanitvam adambhitvam. When we don't have humility, then we are, hey, he's doing like that, he's doing like that, we are right. That is the attitude which we see in the today's world. And sometimes we become devotees, we start chanting 16 rounds and everything, but we carry on the same attitude while we look and judge other people. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. When we have humility, we may see, as per me, this is right, but maybe I will need to learn something new, more. Maybe this may be better. But when we don't have humility, we just close the doors to most of the other better or right answers in our life. So that's a very, therefore it begins, the right knowledge will come only when I have humility. At this point, as the second part of the lecture, I would just like to have share some WhatsApp or dialogue I had with one person on WhatsApp. That person just mentioned basically atheistic or Buddhist philosophy originated dialogue. The start was, I have come out of the idea or the conceptions of Devi, Devatas and all these things. That was how it began. Okay. As if that's the end and the best knowledge. But the whole part, the Buddhist philosophy says, there is no soul, there is no God, and everything is happening by chance. And we are all chemicals, you are a bunch of chemicals. Because there is no soul, then who we are? We are a bunch of chemicals. So, then my question to him was, we already discussed this, soul and bunch of chemicals. So my question to the person was, if we are just bunch of chemicals, then if I do something wrong to some other person, I steal something or I murder someone or whatever it may be, why am I punished? It's just bunch of chemicals. Who is punished? Actually. And if I am punished, suppose, for discussion's sake, I kill someone. We are not souls. I am bunch of chemicals. He is bunch of chemicals. I kill him. So the punishment may be, he should be hanged. Okay. First of all, why or who should be hanged? Is the bunch of chemicals should be hanged? So that's not logical. But even if we say he should be hanged, because that bunch of chemicals have killed this bunch of chemicals, we may accept it. But then, suppose the man is walking on the street and a tree falls on him or a branch falls on him. Why don't you punish that branch by hanging him? That also a bunch of chemicals which killed that man. Or while you are walking on the road, some construction site, some iron girder falls and you are killed. Punish the iron girder or the branch of the tree because that bunch of chemicals killed this bunch of chemicals. They can't answer what's happening, confused. But because they are proud and egoistic, not humble, they cannot understand this science also, this knowledge also. Then my point was, he said, no. Your set of bunch of chemicals, I don't know why not to punish that branch, even though branch killed a person, so punish it. How? By hanging it. I don't know what they'll do. Showpiece hanging of the branch or whatever maybe. So that, no answer. Then I have only one request. Except this bunch of chemicals killed that bunch of chemicals and therefore this bunch of chemicals should be punished. I have only one request. And that request is, you give me punishment, you punish this bunch of chemicals after I die. After I die, you give whatever punishment to my body you want. You burn it, you hang it, you stab it, whatever. Plus, please. It doesn't make much difference. Na? Sometimes the whole process of, justice takes 5, 10 years, 15 years. Just postpone it by 10 more years. You punish this bunch of chemicals. But after I die. So it's very clear that people lack or fail to digest it because lack of humility. They think what we know is right, everything else is. They just close down all the doors of entry of better and newer knowledge. Not that all knowledge you know is the best, and not that all knowledge that may come to you is better than what you know. But when we lack humility, we just closed. Doors are closed. Hey, what is it? Yes, yes, we just start judging others. Rather, we can be, the Vedic culture is observant culture, not judging culture. Even though we may feel I am better, that's okay. Keep it like that. No need to advertise it. We should always be observing, keeping in mind, assimilating, digesting, and we should be learning. So that person was totally confused when I said, you punish my set of chemicals, but after 10, 15 years, when I die, till that time, let me do all the wrong things. You just keep a record, and after I die, you punish me, you hang me, you burn me, whatever you want to do. So he couldn't answer this, but points are very clear. There is something more, but that remains. Anyway, and then further, third part of our today's session is to understand Bhagavad Gita. I said first thing is humility. Amanitvam, adambhitvam. And when we are humble, when we think we know, or we are humble, we should not be humble to only one person. Maybe Guru, we should be humble to every incident 24/7. Even that Srimad Bhagavatam will end canto, 24 gurus, honey bee is a guru, this is so. Humility is not only for one person in this world or two persons in this world. That is, I would rather call it show humility, because if something goes here and there, your person will change. We have to be humble, ready to think that I don't know, ready to learn from every person, every place, every situation. 24/7. So when we have that, we can learn many realities of life. We can see many things in a different, wonderful way. One has to sit down. When we are proud, we don't allow any new knowledge streams to come in. We have to sit down, think, read Vedic scriptures, understand the picture. Just few days back, I met one very scholarly person in a material sense of some PhD and everything, highly placed in some executive council of a university. And he was also a nice, faithful student and follower of Vedic culture. But he had some doubts, and I thought I will mention those doubts and try to clarify them today in the remaining 15 minutes which I have. He came to me and he personally said, oh, thank you. I read Bhagavad Gita, even I tell Bhagavad Gita, but in today's society, some verses become a bit confusing. How to tell? Especially about Varnashram, and then that shloka, 9th chapter, shloka 32, I think, or 33. Mam choyo abhicharena bhakti yogena. Striyo vaishwasata shudro tepi anti param gatim. Or before that, tepi syu papayonaya, that shloka. So how can we understand and that the Bhagavad Gita calls Vaishyas, Shudras and Striyas as papayonaya? It's very difficult to tell. The society will revolt. I would like to begin with two references here. One reference is His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu's class few weeks back. He says the Vedic culture and the language are contextual. Everything has a context. And it's assumed that when you read it, you know the context. And present day atmosphere is textual. You have to write and clarify and tell everything, because the context changes so often from place to place, person to person. So we have to be very textual. So Bhagavad Gita and the Vedic culture and the Vedic language is contextual. So, and also I would like to take a reference of those who have heard or read it, heard the class, which I only took around 4 years back, 6th July 21. and some other. That class was appreciated by many senior Matajis. I got a lot of blessings from Matajis, and one of them, Her Grace Satyavati Mataji, wife of Jai Prabhu. She just thanked me overwhelmingly, and she said, I had a question for 30 years which was not answered. So I won't go, because I cannot go into these two classes full detail here, no. I'm just taking those references. So in that contextual, that class was dealing on 6 July 21 was why are same Vaishya, Shudras and Stri are called less intelligent. So main point was few things which will begin here. Like I asked that person, what does Pap Yona here means? Literally means sinful birth. But what does it mean? Very few people even in assembly over here will be able to answer what exactly sinful birth means. Why sinful birth? No, first you have to understand what it means. It's a very normal, the language, as I said, the contextual. We don't know the context and the culture and the language when Gita was spoken. We get very irritated. What is sinful birth? We should understand. Or less intelligent, I took in that class. So first point was, in Vedic culture, many things are very clear. Like if you say oil, it's still oil. If you say milk, it's cow milk. Otherwise, you have to specify, adjectivize. Buffalo milk or camel milk or what other oil. So, intelligence in Vedic culture, if it is not specified, intelligence of philosophical angle. That was that day's class. It's not chemistry intelligence or physics intelligence or overall total because today's society is 99.9% engrossed in intelligence of BSc, BCom. And when we say women, Shudras or Vaishyas, we say they are not. You are offending. But that's not the intelligence we are talking of. Women can be better, or in fact we see they are better in this intelligence in college and academics. So intelligence without specification, that was the topic of all that day's class. I won't repeat that. And again, so first point was context. What does intelligence mean or Pap Yona means? Second was, it was not everything statement, not an absolute statement. Means a statement like if we say, women are less in height than men. Is correct? Yeah, averagingly it's correct. But there can be a woman who is taller than many men. So absolute statement is not absolute. But if we call it averaging statement, it's correct. Similarly, averagingly, yeah, less intelligent, but doesn't mean that the most dull man in the whole world is more intelligent than the really intelligent woman in the world. That will be absolute statement. No, it doesn't mean that way. It's an averaging. Averaging statement, women are less tall than men. But that doesn't mean the most shortest man in the world is taller than the tallest woman in the world. It doesn't mean that way. It's not expected to mean. But out of ego, we take it like that. Oh, why did you state that? It's an averaging, Baba. It's not absolute statement. It's an averaging statement. So, when we are egoistic, we fail to understand the right meaning. So therefore, amanitvam, adambhitvam, ahimsa. The knowledge begins with humility. So let's go to this Papa Yonaya, today's topic, before we end. So, what does Papa Yonaya means? First, most of us, we will know the literal translation, sinful birth. But what does it mean? What does it mean? Sinful birth, okay. We will mean, why are we called sinful? Okay, but what is sinful birth means? What it means? We are not clear. Then why we get angry? Because of ego. If we are clear, we may not get angry. We may say, okay, that's it. We may accept it. So sinful birth means, by birth we have some disadvantages. In what? In what disadvantages we have? Okay, before then, woman is a biological difference. Men and women, biological difference. But Vaishyas and Shudras is guna karma difference, not birth. So what is that disadvantage which the Vaishyas and the Shudras and the women have compared to the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas? But the real fact is, in today's age, there are no Brahmanas or Kshatriyas to compare. This is a disadvantaged class and this is advantage by birth. But where are the Brahmanas? Because most men in today Kali Yuga, either we are Shudras or demoniac. And with which reference this Pap Yunaya disadvantaged birth title is being given. So we have to understand. First of all, Krishna will go into that quickly. We are discussing of those who fall in Varnashram. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra and cultured women. Amongst them, the Vaishya, Shudra and the women are having a disadvantage by birth. There can be super Papyonaya. They are Asuras. They can be men in that. They are super Papyonaya. They are Asuras, Rakshasas. So they are lower than average gentle lady who is called Papyonaya. There can be super Papyonaya. There can be people like today's terrorists who just rape women indiscriminately, kill people without, they just don't have weapons. We see in Kshatriyas, they don't kill people weaponless, unarmed. So those who do it are super Papyonaya. So cultured lady is much better, higher. We are discussing only about cultured Varnashram people. In today's men also, at the most, what is that Shudra or Vaishya? What is, okay, I will come to that point clearly rather than going around the bush. What is Krishna telling in Bhagavad Gita in this section of shlokas and overall as Bhagavad Gita? What is the goal of Bhagavad Gita, if you want to say in one or two sentences? Tepi yanti param gatim. To attain Supreme Lord Krishna and develop knowledge and detachment, as mentioned in today's shloka. So in that, there is some disadvantages birth. The Vaishyas and the Shudras are one who are too much into bodily consciousness, too much into clothes and how the food tastes, and how their consciousness is, I will eat this and I will dress this way and I will take a selfie, I will post it. Not against any woman per se, but because I observe the world. I keep on always observing the world. And when we pick it, many men and not many men, many women accept it. In fact, many men and women have told me, generally the tendency to decorate themselves. Who has more? Not that men doesn't have, but who has more? That is disadvantage by birth. It's not that their wholesale women are like, this is Papayonaya. No, not that way. They have a tendency to have bodily decoration more. When they have selfie, they will have more facial expressions. That bodily decorations, bodily expressions, taste of food, to go into details of taste of, not that men, yeah, men are also Shudras, so they also like, so they are almost the same. We very rarely find to compare, we have to have Brahmanical men, which is almost not existing in today's age. When we have that, then we'll understand, yeah, there is Papayonaya, a birth, disadvantaged birth. But we don't have that in Kali Yuga. So we just compare and we say, hey, almost they are the same. Yeah, today's age we have Shudras or demonic people. And demonic people are super Papayonaya. So we compare and we get confused. How can, so Vaishyas and Shudras and along with that women, because women by biological birth and Vaishyas and Shudras by their karma and guna, more attached to bodily actions, bodily decorations, bodily pleasures. Not that Brahmanas don't have, they have, but difference is there. Noticeable, major difference is there. So that is Papayonaya, disadvantage birth to attain Krishna, because for that we have to get free from a bit bodily consciousness, and it's like that. But before we end, I would just like to quickly go through that 5 or 10 verses. We are on 3 minutes and that's the right time I have and I need. Quickly go through the 5 or 10 verses of Bhagavad Gita 9 chapter, beginning from around 25 till 32, 33, where this shloka comes. Papayonaya shloka comes. So I'll just go through that. Okay. So 9.25. Krishna begins by telling different type of worshippers get different destinations. So different destinations is not based on Pap, Yone or not Panave. Different type of worshippers will get different. You may be any. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, men, women. Different type of worshippers, different destination. No difference. Krishna has not made difference over there. Then, how to worship? Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. Yome Bhakta Prechati. Here also no differentiation. Men Bhakta or women Bhakta. It's not made here. Anyone can Vaishya Bhakta or Brahman Bhakta. No. 26 is Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. Yome, any Bhakta can worship me. Yome Bhakta Prechati. Tadaham, I accept it. Then further details is Yat Karoshi Yad Ashnashi. Krishna has not mentioned. If Pap Yoni does something, I accept it. If other does something, I don't accept it. No. Anyone. Yat Karoshi Yad Ashnashi Yad Joshi Dadashiyat. So we understand that it's not that discrimination, it's a discrimination for better, for the good of them actually. It's not against them. It's good for Vaishyas. The discrimination is made, but it's good for them. For their better, that discrimination is made. We understand this only when we have humility and not ego. Then we can learn to see it at the right perspective. And when we have ego, then you fail to look at the things at the right perspective. Then 9.28 I have gone. Let me open my folio also here. I can read the shloka also just. Yeah, 9.28. Shubha Shubham Falaireva Mokshashe Karma Bandhani. So again, Krishna showing detachment. I want to go further. Now, in spite of this, Krishna will proactively be thinking that this word will create confusion in people of Kali Yuga. Although I am not making. So he makes in 9.25, 29, very important statement. He makes Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu. Name, Krishna is clearly first telling, I am equal to all living entities. He is not saying, I am equal to all except Papyone. No. Equal to all living entities. Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu. I don't envy anyone, or no one is favorable for me, extra favor. So Krishna is proactively clarified the topic. Still, that word is there. So we have to understand in the right perspective. I'm not saying. So, but Krishna says, one who worships me with bhakti, I worship him accordingly. I worship, he may be from any yoni, I will worship him back. Yo bhajanti tu mam bhaktya, I will also worship him back. Then we go to text 30. And Krishna says, if somebody is worshipping me, sometimes he might be do sudurachar. Still, we have to understand him as sadhu. And then we go ahead, 31. And Krishna says, such a person will become Shipram Bhavati Dhar. So first he has said, all are equal to me. Aim is to be detached and become Tepi Anti Param Gatim. That was already said in previous shlokas, 28, 27. Then he said, if somebody is Durachar, still he can attain me. Shipram Bhavati. So that Durachar is also taken care of. Before Vaishyas and Shudras and women, Krishna takes care of Duracharis. If you are Durachari, but if you struggle and strive to be Krishna consciousness, you will also attain Shipram Bhavati Dharmatma. You will attain. They will not be like lost. Then somebody may say, yeah, but we require a bit detachment from the body and bodily consciousness about decoration and food and the taste and clothing and the jewelry and the more distance of photography and all these things. Krishna says, yeah, that is disadvantages birth. Women, Shudras and Vaishyas have that disadvantage in the birth. But if they worship me, they can also attain supreme destination. That's what Krishna says. They might have. So if you take any field of activity, not only bhakti, any field of activity, not that all the people are same in this world. Is it like that? Any field, badminton. Take badminton. Some of us have are better in badminton, some of us are not. So those who are not are pap yone with reference to badminton. They are not bad per se. They have a disadvantaged birth with that reference of field of activity. You will take any, whatever it may be, memorizing shlokas or even cricket or batting or bowling, painting. Someone will be better, so some will have a bit advantageous birth, some will not be having. Nothing so bad or good. Pap yona means a disadvantageous birth, and here the reference is to get detached. And the Shudras and Vaishyas are more bodily attached. And women by biological birth, again is everything statement, everything, all that holds true. So, but Krishna says, even they will attain my supreme destination. So yeah, it's a disadvantage, but not thrown out. They work hard. Mami Partha, if they surrender to me, they will attain Tepi Anti Param Gatim. So, we have to understand the topics of Bhagavad Gita and the Vedic culture in this way. And all this will be understood properly when we have humility. Otherwise, we'll just flare up with anger and this and that. So, it's over time. I just want to end. Just if one important point is remaining, I already said everything. Yeah, I just said. I just did not go through. So, sorry for around 4 minutes overtime. We don't take any public questions because I'm late. But if someone has, we can discuss personally after the class is over. Thank you everyone. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Yantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Jai. Anything we should not Prabhuji, as you said, that emperor of the earth and Krishna being a god, he accepted the subordinate position.